Hello, everyone, Randy here, and we have another heavyweight contender on the block, the Hercules, with 3 times more power, 25% more compact, and 3 times longer battery life, all from Harbor Freight. Okay, so let's take a look at it here, and for those of you watching my CAD house repair videos, you've probably seen me use this already. This is the Hercules. Again, this is a Harbor Freight brand, compact impact driver. And basically comes with everything you see in there. And again, like I said, I've already been using this, so this isn't brand spanking new in here anymore. But there is the impact driver itself. And for those of you not familiar with what an impact driver does, well, keep watching and I'll demonstrate that here in a few moments. A charger, and of course, you know, the battery's already on it. Claims to be a 2.5 amp hour battery. Very similar design, by the way, to the DeWalt drill in the way it connects, by the way. And then it does come with a couple of accessories here, which I haven't actually used myself yet. Looks like a Phillips, actually 2 Phillips and a couple of nut drivers from the looks of it. So that's all that's in the kit here. Oh, of course, some instructions too if you want to read those, or probably preferably throw them away. So now, here we go. The Hercules impact driver. It's a 20-volt system, at least that's what it claims anyway. And like I said, if you've watched my CAD house build, you have seen me use this before, as well as the Milwaukee and the DeWalt. Now, just for a size comparison here, trying to hold them even, you notice they're pretty much identical, the DeWalt. And then if you notice the Milwaukee, pretty much also identical. So identical in size. Let me just line all 3 of them up here. And pretty much in height, the only exception here, the DeWalt's a little higher just because the battery is quite a bit larger here. Again, with the DeWalt here, my 20-volt max lithium 3 amp hour batteries. It's a nice thing about the DeWalt here. One set of batteries covers pretty much all of my tools. So very nice with that. But yes, battery meter on the back, so that's kind of nice. Batteries here are all fully charged. And let's just, maybe we'll quick go through the specs on these units. Okay, first off, these are all 1/4-inch impact tools. These aren't like impacts like you're going to be taking off, you know, lug nuts or anything like that. These are the small ones, designed for more smaller nuts, bolts, putting in screws, that type of thing. Not necessarily for like larger applications, like I said, like a big impact. So, starting off with the Milwaukee here, and just to make sure I got it right here, the Milwaukee has 2,750 RPMs, claims 3,450 impacts per minute with 1,500 inch-pounds. Now they rate these in inch-pounds, so 1,500 inch-pounds of torque. And that's quite a bit for this little thing, by the way. 1,500 inch-pounds of torque. Next up, we'll look at the DeWalt here. DeWalt claims, let's see, where is it here? 3,200 impacts per minute. Doesn't list a RPM unless it's on here maybe. 2,800 RPM on here, it says. 2,800 RPM on here, 1,400 inch-pounds. So just a little bit less than the Milwaukee. They do make another version of this here. I don't know which that one has, but this one I think it's a little bit smaller, smaller impact. So they might have a slightly larger one, if you're wondering. And then, of course, for the Harbor Freight here. Harbor Freight claims, let's see, where does it claim? 2,800 RPMs for the Hercules and 1,500 inch-pounds. Doesn't say how many, let's see if it says on here. Doesn't say how many impacts per minute. It just says 2,800 RPMs, 1,500 inch-pounds. So, interestingly enough, the same as the Milwaukee. A little bit less than the DeWalt though, so. And just for, got the LEDs on it, which is kind of nice. This one just has one bottom mounted LED. Sounds nice and smooth. Can't complain about the way it sounds or the way it feels. You know, you pick these up, of course the DeWalt's a little heavier because of the battery. Actually, you know what, let's take the batteries off here. I would say they're pretty much identical, folks. I can't tell the difference. You know, I can't say, oh wow, this one's like so much heavier, so much lighter. They feel pretty much identical. And of course, again, you know, the battery's going to count for some of that. The Milwaukee, I think, feels a little lighter. Let me try this here a minute. Actually, might be about the same. The Milwaukee might be a little heavy, or a little lighter. And again, the Milwaukee has the battery monitor on the front. Hopefully you can see that in the light there. It is fully charged. The DeWalt, at least the batteries I have, do not have a battery monitor on them. I will say that is kind of nice when you actually have that on a battery. You can just quickly see, oh yes, okay, we're good to go. Oh wait, 1 bar left, I better charge that. So, and Milwaukee also has a light that is underneath. Kind of actually like what DeWalt did there with the 3 lights around it. That actually works pretty good. Okay, so let's do some fastening and drill some holes with these. Well, they're actually not really designed for drilling holes, but we'll drill some holes to put some fasteners in and see how each one of these 3 do. Okay, folks, first thing I want to talk about here is why would you want an impact driver like this? Now, when I first seen these, it's like, boy, it looks like a gimmicky toy. Actually, the first one I ever had access to was this one here. Actually came as a set with a Milwaukee drill. It's like, okay, well, they throw it in for free, I guess, whatever, we'll take it. And let's just say ever since I've used this, it's like, wow, these are nice. So if you have some doubt about getting one of these, don't. You need one, at least if you're putting in screws and stuff like that. So let's just give a demonstration here. We got some deck screws, number 10 by 4. And I got the regular drill here. And let's just demonstrate putting these screws in. Now, for anybody that's put in screws like this before, unless of course you pre-drill the hole, it sucks trying to put these in. So, let's just try to do this here. And right away we've already stripped it out, and if folks doubt how hard I'm pushing on this, you shouldn't, because yeah, like I probably, in fact, I'm thinking I'm going to take this out. I don't even want to go any further. I don't want to get this stuck in here. Now, let's try this with the impact. So same, well, actually new screw. You can see it's not been stripped out. Just to show you what that did. Of course, you know, we're drilling it with no hole. Technically, you wouldn't want to do it with a screw like this anyway, but look at that, folks, right in. A little bit more noisy, mind you, but and it's a little warm. Try to hold it here. Look at the head of that screw. And yeah, like I said, that's a little hot. Let me see if I can get it sitting on here. Not an ounce of damage to that head. So if you're wondering why you want one of these, that is why. Effortlessly and flawlessly usually puts in screws like that. Okay, and now that they've cooled off just a little bit here, you can see the one we put in with just the regular drill, one with the impact. I could save this one. Unfortunately, this one I got to throw away because that isn't any good anymore. So that is why you want impact. Now, let's try something a little bit harder here. These are, I think these are 10-inch, half-inch lag bolts, or lag screws if you want to call them that. So, got our Hercules drill here for those of you who watched the review on that. We're going to drill 3 holes here. Should all be the same depth, and we're going to try each one and see how they do putting them in. Okay, we got 3 holes. We'll start with the Hercules here. Okay, folks, and re-recording this point at the video here due to some technical difficulties. So starting over, I've actually done this once already, but yeah, starting over at this point. So redoing this, got the Hercules, drove it in. Again, it was still going yet, so it's not like it stopped or nothing. You know, it didn't. Well, this is as far as it go. It could keep going, but it was definitely slowing down. So I figured that was a good point to stop. So we'll continue the test on here with the DeWalt. And we've got another hole here. So yes, if you wonder why the holes are a little different, that's because we had to redo this portion of the video again due to a technical difficulty. So here we go with, this time, the DeWalt. Okay, again, it's still turning, but that seems to be all the farther the DeWalt wants to go. So we'll switch over to the Milwaukee here then. Notice it is quite a bit higher. I don't know, we might have to maybe repeat this test again, because the first time I did it, they were actually all about the same. So here we go, this time the Milwaukee. Okay, seems like the Milwaukee's really slowed down there as well. It's really the fun of it. Let's see what's here. Ah, yeah, now the Milwaukee's slowed down pretty good too. Must just be that hole's a little different. I'm going to claim that's why that one's not in quite as far. The holes are drilled all to the same depth, by the way, so that shouldn't be an issue. The holes are the same depth. Might be just a little bit different. Maybe there's a knot in the wood there, not that I see, but anyway, let's maybe I'll continue seeing if I can drive each one of these down just a little bit more here yet. Again, these are 1/2-inch lag screws, so I mean that's a pretty good workout for a little impact driver like this. These are some big lag screws. Okay, switching back to the Hercules here. Let's maybe pick the hard one here. And again here, it's still going with impact. You know, how much or how long can you go? There's not really a whole lot that's probably going to stop it. It's definitely going slower now, but okay, it definitely slowed down on all of them there. One thing I will note, this is definitely getting hot. Okay, we'll see if the Milwaukee can go any more here. It don't look like it. Barely any movement. again, it is turning it, but not much. I'm going to say the DeWalt isn't turning that one at all. I don't think it's turning that one at all either. And it don't look like it's turning that one at all either. Again, keep in mind the DeWalt here, at least per the rating, is a little bit smaller, so kind of would expect that. Here again, the Hercules is still driving them in. I mean, it's definitely slowed down, but compared to both the DeWalt and the Milwaukee, it is still going yet. Still slow, but it is going. Okay, we'll go ahead and take the screws out. One nice thing the DeWalt seems to have, and I don't know if that's on purpose or not, but you can quick connect it. You don't actually have to pull this out to connect. You can just push it in, and it automatically locks. Now, of course, it doesn't come out. You have to release it to get it out, but to get it in, push it in, it's in. Okay, everyone, we got the lag screws out, and I just wanted to show you folks, that's the first 3 I did there. Again, technical difficulties due to the video, so redid that. Of course, we got this side here. I drilled that hole and realized we got a problem. I don't know if that'll show up in camera or not, but it's all the way through, so that's why I didn't use that hole there. Got 3 new holes. But yeah, pretty much the same results as the first time I did this. Again, the Hercules winning out, it definitely seems to have more torque. It is putting them in, these lag screws in further. Both the DeWalt and the Milwaukee seem to be about the same. I think the first time I did it, I think the DeWalt maybe did just a little bit better than the Milwaukee, and this time around I think the Milwaukee did just a little bit better than the DeWalt. I'm not sure how charged the DeWalt battery is here though, so that might be why. I didn't charge it here before I started this test this time around. The Hercules was charged, and so was the Milwaukee. One thing I did note, and I noticed this the first time I did this test too, the DeWalt is warm, and that's about it. The gearbox on the Hercules is hot. The motor's kind of warm, and then same thing with the Milwaukee. The Milwaukee is hot, both motor and gearbox. So DeWalt is by far the coolest of the bunch. The Hercules here, you can hold on to that, but you're probably not going to want to. Back here, nothing. It's just mediocrely warm. And then, yeah, the Milwaukee there is quite hot. Keep in mind, the Hercules here, we did do probably quite a bit more with the Hercules as far as putting in these lag screws go. So anyway, we'll put it through a few more tests here. Something you're probably going to more than likely do with these, and that is putting in screws. That's kind of what they're for. So putting in just general construction screws, anything like that. And keep in mind when you do this, and I think I've mentioned this already in the video, but make sure you have impact rated bits. Very, very important you have impact rated. Same thing for the sockets as well. Make sure you have impact rated sockets. Typically they are black if they're impact rated. I'm not sure about always on that, but usually this impact rated stuff is black. So make sure you use impact rated bits and sockets and everything with these. That is very important. These will very, very quickly destroy any bits that are not impact rated. For example, these screw bins here, They actually come with bits on the cover there. Now, I'm just a guessing here, and I don't know this for a fact, but I don't think that's probably impact rated. I haven't tried it. Maybe sometime I'll try it for the fun of it, just to see what happens. If it's not impact rated though, again, these will very quickly destroy that bit. They'll just shred it to pieces because they're not designed to take the impact. So let's do some screws here. And again, we just got the 6x6, and we'll try to pick a spot here that's not been obliterated, probably maybe in this region here. That looks pretty good. Okay, we'll just start off with the DeWalt here. And again, like I mentioned, one thing about the DeWalt I kind of like, push it in, it locks. Now, of course, you need to release it to get it out, but you can just push it in, and it is locked in there. So, put in a screw. And one really nice thing about the impacts too, that goes for all of these, by the way. You know, it's kind of one-handed operation. You know, like with a drill, you kind of have to hold on with both hands, otherwise it rips out of your hand. For those of you who watched my last video there, trying to put these in, yeah, so that DeWalt gave me a run for my money, that's for sure. There we go. These are some big 5/16 3/8 screws. Some big meaty suckers. So we got 2 in with the DeWalt there. No problem at all driving those in. And 2 with the Milwaukee here, just because we can. Forward would probably help. Just like that, nothing to it, easy peasy. This board's gonna look like Swiss cheese by the time we're done here. Okay, there we go. How about we just do some a little bit smaller screws here a minute. This is probably what I do the most of here. You know, these general construction screws, about 3 inches, you know, give or take a little bit depending on what we're doing, but I think these are 3 inchers. Yes, 3 inchers, number 9, 3 inch. Nothing to it. Okay, and the Hercules this time around. There we go again, nothing to it. And the Milwaukee. Again, these are kind of what these are designed for, you know, putting in screws. Puts that screw in it with no problem. The one thing I do notice doing this, actually screws are clean here before I put them away. The one thing I notice when I'm doing this, the DeWalt seems to put them in further before it starts using the impact part. So if I put it in, maybe I turn this around here. Maybe that'll be a better way of showing this. So it gets to about there before you start hearing the impact. And if we demonstrate this with a Milwaukee, we'll try to stop at the same point. See, it's already impacting. And not that there's anything wrong with this, folks. I'm just pointing this out. The DeWalt seems to have more torque before it needs to use the impact. And same thing as the Hercules. Again, DeWalt about there. Hercules goes a little bit further than the Milwaukee maybe, but I just thought that was something interesting to note there. Okay, let's maybe step it up one more time here. And I've got some, these are 6-inch construction screws. This is a 6x6, so these should go all the way through. So just a bit of fun here, see what happens. Again, try to pick a spot here. Looks like if we go in here somewhere, they should go all the way through, no problem. Hopefully screws don't break off in here. There we go. And it should be sticking out the other side, and it is. Okay, and then for a Milwaukee. You can tell when it goes through. I could be wrong there, but it felt like it took the Milwaukee longer. And then finally the DeWalt here. Again, let's maybe go a little bit lower, try to avoid those. And here we go. 3 screws sticking out the other end there. Those are some big screws to be putting in. Again, they don't really struggle at all doing that. Again, notice it did not impact at all taking that screw out. I'm guessing here probably both of these will. Yeah, almost good half the way it impacts taking that screw out, and my bit here is starting to wear out, by the way. That's why the screws are sticking to it. I should probably replace this. Otherwise, that's one thing to make note of. Make sure you use good ones of these. Replace them as needed. Otherwise, you'll start wrecking screws. And that's, of course, no fun. They do last quite a while, by the way. So I've put in, probably several hundred screws with one of these bits easily. Okay, everyone, with that, we're going to wrap up the video here. Again, same conclusion as the first time I did this video. The Hercules definitely performs quite well. No issues at all putting screws in or even the lag bolts. It actually seems to outpower both the Milwaukee and the DeWalt, quite to my surprise. So yes, it definitely seems to be good. I think the question here, it's not so much that it's good now, but how good is it going to be in the future? Is it going to continue to last? I think that's where the question is going to be with the Hercules here. Again, 20-volt battery, so that probably gives it a little advantage over the Milwaukee 18-volt battery. And the DeWalt here is just a little bit smaller. I think they do make a little bit bigger DeWalt, but that's the one I have. Now, keep in mind too, price-wise, the Hercules is probably going to be a little bit cheaper. The Milwaukee here came as a set, and I think the set with the drill was about $250. If you get the Hercules, depending on what you can get it for, if you can get a coupon with it, you can probably get it for less than $200 with the driver. I don't think they sell a combo kit though that I know of. I'm not aware they sell it as a combo, so you can get the drill and the driver here as a combo kit. I think you have to buy them both separate. The Milwaukee though you can get as a kit. Same thing with the DeWalt, you can get as a kit as well. I think it actually runs about the same price as the Milwaukee as far as I know. In my case though, I bought this separate, and actually this was actually quite a bit cheaper than the Hercules was, only because I did not buy it with a battery. I didn't buy this with a battery. This uses the same battery that my driver or my drill does. Now my drill on the other hand probably costs more than both the Milwaukee and the whole Milwaukee set combined costs. So the DeWalt there was definitely a bit expensive. So anyway, it's good, folks. Like I said, can't complain at all. It does no problem. Just keep in mind, if you do have one of these impact drivers, make sure you use impact rated bits. Very, very important. Same thing for the sockets too. Make sure you have impact rated sockets. Also, hopefully with that, you can see as well kind of what the advantage of these is. Really nice for putting in screws. Probably not necessarily for drilling holes or stuff like that. You still want the drill for that. But for putting in screws, these are really, really nice. Even if you want to put in big lag bolts like this, you can if you want to. You're probably better off with a bigger impact putting these in, but it will put them in if you want it to. And it probably would have worked better too. Keep in mind too, with the holes I was drilling small holes, so The proper sized holes for these would probably go in a lot better than what they went in for me. I on purpose drilled the holes small, so you know they go in as hard as I possibly get them to go in. Anyway, folks, I think we'll wrap up the video here. You folks have any comments or questions about this, be sure to leave them below. And as always, thanks for watching, and until next time.